All right, so what we've also been trying to do today is get a sense of how this COVID-19 coronavirus has been affecting everyday life, particularly in business. A short while ago, we talked about liquor outlets or restaurants that are selling liquor, and this new rule that after 6, they've got to close until 9 the next morning. Well, our business anchor, Collen Lemawane, he's out on the streets today, and I think he's gone to Greenside now, and that's a really busy business area, particularly with restaurants. But let's catch up from him now and get a sense of what's happening. And just looking at the person behind you, she seems to be the only one close by.
Well, Peter, not so many people around here as expected. We didn't really hope to find many people at this restaurant. You know, like when we arrived here, there was just a couple sitting at a pizza outlet, and when we invited them to come and speak to us, to understand what encouraged them to go out and eat when other people are staying away, and they said they just live down the road and they just came to get something to eat, and after nibbling they will go back home to be indoors for the rest of the evening. As expected, at 6 p.m. Nobody will be allowed to sell alcohol, so they won't be having access to it. So perhaps they want to dash off to the nearest bottle store, or rather liquor outlet as we call it, to get themselves some bottles of whatever they drink. And one thing for sure, Peter, as you've been going, breaking down what people should do to really protect themselves, I must say that if you were going to accuse me of anything, I have not actually been programmed not to touch my face. It is just happening impulsively. I don't know what to do about it, but I'll keep on practicing. So, Peter, I'm standing at a place where it's just, the corner of Emarancia and Glen Eagles Road here in Greenside. And we have about 14 restaurants here. And as you look down the streets, number one, the first thing that we usually see is cars parked all over the place and nowhere to go. But right now, as I can show you, as I can just pan to that side of the parking area, there are cars available parked here. But it's not clearly where the motorists have gone to, because there's a lot of empty chairs in many of the restaurants when you take a walk down the street. And we've been speaking to the managers. They're saying that since this morning, business has been very, very bad. I've got Caleb Ford, who manages one of the restaurants here. It's at the Artisan. And when we spoke to them this morning, there wasn't anybody who was here to have a drink or something to eat. So let's check if anybody has come here to support this business. Thank you very much for joining us, Caleb. What has been your experience with business throughout the day?
Since this coronavirus outbreak, we've had a drop in customers. Walk-in customers are very far and few between. We are adhering to our national laws put out by the government, and we're trying to abide and comply with those rules and regulations. But business has been tough. We don't have any more pedestrian customers. Excuse me. Our pedestrian customers are staying at home. They aren't coming out to eat. Everybody's afraid of the coronavirus being infected. But I can assure all residents and customers that we are taking necessary precautionary measures. We put them in place to keep our customers safe and give them peace of mind so they can still go out and enjoy whatever our area and our restaurants have to offer.
Yeah, whilst you're at that now, I just want you to demonstrate for me. When we enter your restaurant, what's the first precaution for me as a customer?
Well, we've got hand sanitizer right at the door. So all customers are requested and required to put hand sanitizer on their hands, and then from there on they can seat. All our tables and chairs are sanitized regularly. Every half an hour, our staff cleans, wipes everything down with sanitizer and disinfectant.
So what about the surfaces, the tables, even the restrooms?
The restrooms are kept clean. Like I say, every half an hour the whole restaurant gets wiped down with our detergents and our sanitizers, which are hospital grade. So we try to keep our customers safe, and they let them know that they can come out and have a good time.
So I can see that downstairs there's nobody here, but as we can pan upwards, there at the rooftop we have only 2 customers there who are sitting, chatting and having a drink, and they are the only 2 people who have entered here. How long have they been here?
They've been here for about 15 minutes now. And that's it. You know?
So business is bad, literally.
Very bad. Very bad.
Tell me what goes on in the mind of a business person who runs an outlet like this. Do you feel like bailing out and selling your business, or do you want to stay on until this crisis is over?
Look, I am being positive. Everybody needs to be positive that we hope and pray that this virus can get under control as soon as possible, and we know we are being confident that things will turn around in the near future, hopefully much sooner than much later. As from a business point of view, it is difficult keeping the shop open. We know we've got employees to pay, but there's no income. When we don't have customers, we don't have income. So it is difficult, but I'm not going to throw in the towel just yet. We are positive, and we know that this thing will pass.
Like this will be very informative for somebody who wants to be in business and stay in. When it comes to cash flow, sustaining the business when there is no income and having to pay your people, how did you prepare to sustain your business even during downtime?
Look, we've got our accountant is very hands-on. It's all about watching how much you spend on necessary things or unnecessary things. We need to keep tabs on that, and we don't just spend money as we feel. The business needs to survive, and we prepare for things like this. We always keep cash on the side just in case, whether it's the coronavirus or any other epidemic or any other situation that we might find ourselves in, that where we are stuck for income. So we have to prepare for that.
Right. Well, earlier we said that we'll be traveling with a tourism expert who is Unathi Henama, a tourism lecturer at Tshwane University of Technology. Now, Unathi, the situation is real here on the ground. Restaurants are empty.
The restaurants are empty. It means that there'll be a decline, obviously, in their contribution to employment and GDP. We hope that the coronavirus can clear up as soon as possible. That's why the message is stay at home right now, so that you can be able to travel tomorrow. The sooner the infections are controlled, the sooner the industry can bounce back. But the most important thing is, obviously, government must come with tax cuts for small businesses to ensure that they sustain those jobs, to ensure that they become the job creators of the future. That is very, very important to ensure their sustainability within our economy. We know that small businesses are the engine of job creation in our economy.
It's very interesting how businesses are complying, and we're left with only about 1 hour, 10 minutes for them to stop selling alcohol.
Well, these are some of the challenges that obviously businesses need to adapt to, because remember, this is a war that we are facing about trying to defeat corona, and we have to obviously show solidarity to this fight that we have. We will bounce back as an industry, but the way in which we bounce back will obviously be depending on government providing additional incentives for businesses within the hospitality sector, which sometimes and at times are not looked at. So obviously we know we've got a very, very passionate minister who obviously will ensure that these businesses get support from DTI and other agencies of the government.
Well, earlier, Peter, we were looking at a press conference where the issue of church gatherings over the weekend actually are now under a court order that churches must not hold gatherings. So I spoke to Unathi earlier about that, because it's something that's very interesting in as far as people leaving their homes, going to churches, and we spoke to several bishops of churches who were saying that they actually would like to host church services on Sunday, but the sitting arrangement would be one person, one empty chair, and the other person sitting next to the other, and there would be people having sanitizers, and everybody will be asked to comply. But then I just want to pick your brain on this issue regarding the court order. Does it mean that no church at all, and is that advisable for pastors who have not made up their minds yet that there shouldn't be no gatherings at all?
I first and foremost commend government for taking this matter to court, to get a court order, because all of us, all hands on deck, we should all work together to ensure that there are no more transmissions, and the faith community has to obviously assist us. Those congregations that have been not supporting us will obviously have to comply with this court order, which will obviously be blanket all over South Africa. I'm happy about this, even though there'll be a slight decline in domestic tourism linked to religious tourism, but we will bounce back in the next season. But right now, we must have one message, that we have to protect ourselves, we have to stay at home. There will obviously be another opportunity to do all of these activities.
So when it comes to people not going to church, so your advice is that no church at all on Sunday?
Please stay at home.
Right. Unathi Henama is tourism lecturer at the Tshwane University of Technology. And of course, Peter, I know that this is a subject that's very close to your heart when it comes to the interview you heard 2 days ago about a bishop of the Zionist church who said that they're going to defy the president and they will be calling on their members to attend church. However, other pastors are saying that they want only 100 members of their churches to attend the services on Sunday. And as Unathi has said, no church at all on Sunday, but not discouraging people to pray. Well, that's the situation right now. As you can see, no traffic, no people at the restaurant, business is down, things are not looking good. From me, Collen, it's back to the studio. In the next hour, we're going to go to another busy street, which is 7th Delan or 7th Avenue in Melville, which is just a stone throw away from where we're broadcasting, and we'll speak to you later. Peter?
Thanks very much indeed, Colin. That's Colin in Greenside. And I've got to tell you, if you've ever been down that street where Colin is now, that's one of the streets that's always a hive of activity, particularly on a Friday afternoon where people come and just enjoy each other's company. And those restaurants are normally quite full. And towards the evening, some of those venues actually even need to book if you want a place. And it looks scarily empty at the moment. And of course, that's all COVID-19.